Happy late Friday the 13th, everyone. I am really sorry. I should have made this video earlier on, but I'm busy. Okay, I have other stuff I need to focus on, not just movies. But don't worry, movies are still always going to be my hobby. So I thought, why not? Now I'm gonna redo my review for part 2 because that review is just the video I made is terrible. It's private, so maybe I'll make it public again, but I'm going to rank each and every one of these Friday 13th, every single one of them, from the worst to the best. You know, my favorite film in the series and whatnot. So, we're going to get started with my least favorite. Number 12. The only film in the series I don't like is this one. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. You see, more like Jason takes a freaking cruise ship, or Jason takes Vancouver, because there's only like a couple minor shots in Manhattan, but for the most part, it's in Vancouver. It's the most bloodless Friday the 13th movie. I mean, this was when the MPAA was very, very strict. They went hard on slasher films. You know, they didn't let horror movies get away with that much violence. So this is the most bloodless. But also it wasn't the most censored either. But, I mean, some of the characters I like, some of them I don't like. The scene sort of towards the end with the, when they're underground and, you know, the sewer, and then, you know, the scene when Jason takes his mask off and it just looks so fake and it just looks terrible. The effects there looked terrible. It looked like what am I thinking of? Almost like an effect straight out of like Troll 2 or Garbage Pail Kids. Okay. This is not a guilty pleasure. This movie just sucks. It just plain sucks. Now, this is not one of the worst sequels of all time. But it certainly is a disappointing movie. I don't hate it, like, outright hate it, but this is certainly my least favorite of the series. The only one I don't really care for. The one kill I liked was Julius, his death, you know, when he gets his head punched off by Kane Hodder, of course, Jason, and, you know, his head falls into the dumpster. That's probably the one good thing about this movie. And I like this poster too. So, that's number 12. Number 11 is Part 5, A New Beginning. This is a decent enough sequel. It's okay at best. I don't like Roy Burns. It has some stupid, silly moments here and there, but, you know, it does have great kills and stuff, even if the kills are cut down severely. I mean, and, you know, you'll hear me talk about the MPAA a lot when in this video, because if y'all don't know, they were absolutely notorious, like I said, for they wouldn't let horror movies get away with a lot of violence at all. But there were very few horror films. There were some horror films that did get away with a lot of violence in the 80s, like The Thing, and let's see, what's some other horror movies? I'll think about it. But this film, it has likable characters, I will say. This film features Tommy Jarvis as an adult, and I will say, you know, obviously he's also in Part 6 as well, but I will say, yeah, I do like the characters. The story, I mean, it's just alright at best. I mean, it's nothing special. It's hard to mess up a Friday the 13th movie. It really is. I would say my favorite kill is that dude named Junior. You know, he's driving his motorcycle, then he just runs right into the cleaver Jason's holding, and it decapitates him. I thought that was pretty cool. So, that's number 11. Okay, number 10 is the original Friday the 13th. Now, I know you're probably wondering, why do I have it so low? Now, honestly, I'm kind of off the fence of whether or not this is better or the remake. Or reboot, whatever it is. Because I actually really like the reboot. The story is better, in my opinion. Granted, I kind of prefer the characters in this movie over the reboot, but the reboot did still have likable characters and stuff like that. So, it does have, you know, a great poster, obviously, and whatnot. You have great kills, you know, great practical effects by Tom Savini and stuff. But I don't know. I just prefer the story in the reboot over this. I like the characters. I mean, the Friday 13th series has likable characters. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. There's not really much to say. I mean, this is the film that started it all, but it's not my favorite. It isn't. So, anyways, guys, that's number 10. Number 9, I put the Friday 13th reboot on here. I kind of prefer this over the original, just by a tiny little fight. You see, I prefer the story in this movie over the original. It's, you know, it's probably the Friday the 13th film with the most nudity, most explicit sex scenes. I mean, really. I mean, Part 5 did have a lot of nudity as well, but the guy that played Jason was really, really tough. Derek Mears. I thought he did a good job. I thought Jared Padalecki did. He actually did a pretty good job in here. There's a lot of hot women in this as well. Anyways, this is a well done reboot for what it is. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I do like it. I do. You know, it's got good kills as well. Like one of the kills, for example, I think her name's Chelsea. She gets stabbed in the top of her head with, I think it was a machete or something, and, you know, because she's underneath the deck or something. It was like a deck or something. And, you know, the machete sticks out, it goes through the top of her head, and just, yeah, and then she just sinks underwater, and then, yeah, there's that. And then, also liked, let's see, the one shot where, I think it's a sheriff or deputy or something, he gets like a fire poker through his eye, and it actually the camera sort of goes through, like, it's very cool. If you know what that scene is, you know what I'm talking about, so. Alright, that's number 9. I should have put this lower, so here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be number 10, and Friday the 13th, the original, will be number 9, and then the reboot will be number 8. So this is number 10. Jason X. Now, I just like it. You know, it's popcorn fun and whatnot. I think, you know, for what it is, I think it's fun. It's entertaining. Kane Hodder does good. That's Jason. You know, and whatnot. It has some silly shit in there. I mean, Uber Jason. So there's that. Lots of CGI, which is blasphemous for a Friday the 13th movie, but yeah. Of course, you got good practical gore. I mean, all these films, most of them have, you know, great kills and stuff. So there's not much to say with Jason X. The setting in space is silly, but of course, a lot of horror movies were being, Hellraiser, I think it's Hellraiser 4 was set in space, and then, of course, Leprechaun in space and whatnot. So, okay, number 7 is Friday the 13th Part 3 in Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. Friday the 13th 3D. Now, this is the very first film in the series where Jason, wears his hockey mask and stuff like that. So, of course, this is in 3D, and actually, I don't have 3D glasses. I don't even like the red and blue glasses. I think they're terrible. I don't have a 3D TV either, but I know, whatever. I don't really care. I don't really care about 3D, but I like that poster, and I will say, the main actress, she did okay. I mean, she's probably my least favorite final girl of the whole series. I mean, Chris, and there was actually an alternate ending where she died. Like, she was, decapitated by Jason, but they thought his makeup looked a little too ugly, so they cut that ending, and I think the footage of that ending is completely lost, so we may never see it, so unfortunately. I would really like to see it. Now, back to this film. She's okay. I mean, you do have probably either my second favorite or my all-time favorite kill in the franchise that's in here, where the guy's walking on his hands. He's like his legs are up in the air. He's walking, and then Jason cuts him in half sideways, like just splits him in half like this way. And I mean, and then when I think his girlfriend is reading a magazine or something, and there's like blood dripping. She looks up, and then he's up there, he's cut in half, you see his entrails and stuff, and then, the knife sticks out through her chest, and, so clearly this film got away with, showing some, blood and gore, because I'm surprised the MPA did not go after this movie, which is kind of blasphemous, because, this is somehow gorier than Part 7, The New Blood, but somehow, I don't know. Somehow Part 7 got so much censorship. Anyways, the guy that played Jason did fine for the most part. I think it was Richard Brooker. Yeah. He did okay. So, there's that. Okay, number 6 is Freddy vs. Jason. This movie has minor issues, but it's not enough to hurt this movie, because I actually like this film quite a bit. It would be better if this came out in the 80s, but whatever. It's cool that, you get to see Freddy and Jason fight. You do see some silly stuff in there, and, Jason getting flung all over the place by Freddy, and, his supernatural powers, and, our final girl, her name is Lori. She's pretty hot, actually. She did good for the most part. You also have Catherine Isabelle in here, too. Robert Englund, of course, he's excellent as, Freddy Krueger, of course. No one other than Robert Englund can be Freddy. I'm gonna say that right now. But the fight scenes are fun. I will say that. I like the soundtrack as well. The kills, yeah, there's CGI in this movie, but there's also, the one kill I remember, that guy that kind of looks like Alex Jones. I forgot that one character. Like touches him, like dad, and then his head flies off, blood sprays all over the place, and he's holding his dad's head and just, And then you have the ultimate battle at the end when the it's like a cabin or something, an abandoned house. It explodes and just fire everywhere, and and then the scene at the end when she decapitates Freddy, and Jason's alive enough, sticks his machete into his back and out his chest, and then Jason falls in the water, and then she picks up the machete and then she's like, "Welcome to my world, bitch," and then the ending, Jason walks out of the water with Freddy's head, and then he just winks at the camera, and he's like, cuts to black, and it has some real funny shit in here. For most part, good film. I do like Freddy vs. Jason a lot, actually, but it has its problems. Now we're finally on to the top 5. Number 5 is Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. This is a good sequel. It really is. And I think it was Ted White that played Jason. He did a really good job. I thought he did really well. You have Corey Feldman, of course, Tommy Jarvis. As much as I hate him as a person now, I will say he did a good job in this movie. Our lead actress, forgot her name. I think it was Kimberly Beck. Yeah. She did a good job too. Jason's kill was good too. Where he falls on the machete and it goes through his head, and then Tommy goes ham on him, just hacking him up. Die, and has likable characters. It has some good kills, and whatnot. I think there's not much to say. This is a good sequel, really good sequel. Number 4 is Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, this is a fan favorite by according to most people. I mean, it certainly is a fun sequel. You have great kills. I mean, and C.J. Graham does a good job as Jason. I actually met C.J. Graham recently, and well, I'll pull it out. To autograph my Friday the 13th Part 6 DVD right here. Yeah. Very, very good guy. Very cool guy. I love him. I would love to meet him again. He was really nice. Very cool guy. Anyways, Tommy Jarvis is back in this movie. He's Part 5 as well, but he thinks that Jason is not dead. He's still alive. In fact, in the beginning, him and his, partner, they, dig up Jason's grave, and he's basically, and this is the first one where Jason's a zombie, and the makeup's amazing, obviously. And, the kill at the beginning when he punches the guy's heart out and stuff, and just, yeah. And then, also, the kill when the sheriff, he gets folded in half The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic in this movie. I haven't even mentioned Harry Manfredini's score for all these. Um, I like the score for every film in the series that he did. This could be my favorite. This has my favorite soundtrack of the overall franchise because there were songs in here by Alice Cooper that are awesome, absolutely awesome. You have likable characters, like most of the other films in the series. And this is the only Friday the 13th film to have kids in it. I think that's crazy. But anyways, moving on. Number 3 is Friday the 13th Part 2. This is the first sequel. Love this movie. I really do. Has my favorite final girl in the series, Amy Steele. I think she's absolutely beautiful, and she's tough. She's badass. Beating the shit out of Jason. And, they do kill off Adrienne King, Alice, from the first movie. They kill her off in this film right here. You have great kills. I think this is a great sequel all around. There's not much to really say about Part 2. It's just has likable characters, has everything you need in a Friday the 13th film to make it a good Friday the 13th film. I mean, it's fun. It's and the thing is with this box set, this is the very first time we ever got to see the uncut gore that was cut out of this movie. Which I think is absolutely awesome, and it's great that we got to see these. I mean, Jeff and Sandra, when they get impaled through the bed with the spear and stuff, and then in this version it just shows you just see the spear go through the bed. You don't see them actually reacting, or you don't see the gore. That shot that was cut, and it was on the back of the VHS too. It wasn't in the movie, but now we get to see these deleted scenes that have been lost for over 40 years, which is crazy. So there's not much to say. I love Friday the 13th Part 2. Number 2 is Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. My favorite poster of the overall franchise. I mean, that is it's absolutely amazing. And sadly, this is the most butchered Friday the 13th film. When it comes to MPAA, I mean, this movie right here, they absolutely went hard on. Every single death scene was cut to, cut on serious, severe levels, and it's nearly bloodless, this movie. I mean, it's crazy the amount of censorship that this movie got that it didn't deserve. And sadly, all the footage that exists of these cut deleted scenes are the work print quality. So sadly, all the other footage was lost in time. So that's tragic, and it really sucks. But there's nothing really we can do. So I like the idea of this movie. This girl, she has, a telekinesis, basically. It's like a supernatural, like Carrie, kind of. That's why people call this Carrie versus Jason. Because that's what the main girl kind of reminds us of, Carrie. And, her and Jason, they fight at the end, and, objects flying towards Jason, and it's a fun movie, and the character has likable characters. I'm gonna say that over and over. There's not much to say. I like this one a lot. Very fun sequel. It's a shame we'll never see an uncut version of this movie. It really is. It really is a shame. This will be a controversial pick. My favorite Friday the 13th film is Jason Goes to Hell. Now, this is considered one of the most hated sequels or films in the franchise. I disagree. This is one of the most underrated, most overhated sequels. The supernatural idea, I mean, it's a little too much, but as a B movie, it's fun, it's entertaining. You have great gore. Great gore. This is the goriest Friday the 13th movie ever made. And K&B did the special effects for this movie. You know, you have likable characters. You know, John D. LeMay does a good job. I like Stephen Williams as the bounty hunter. You have, you know, great kills like the when when that chick gets impaled through, you know, the tent and then just split in half, and it's great kills. And you also have, you know, I'm gonna pair this to Halloween Ends. This is only like 88 minutes, so no, the unrated version's 91 minutes, and the theatrical version's 88 minutes. So it's not 2 hours like Halloween Ends. It doesn't have the same wannabe Twilight crap. And, you know, Jason's not in, people complain that Jason's not in this movie. He's not in Part 5. And I like Part 5. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. This film, though, I mean, the idea of Jason's spirit going into people's bodies, I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy idea for a Friday the 13th movie, but somehow it worked and stuff. I love the poster art as well. And they even make a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street, because this is New Line Cinema's movie. You know, this is their first film in the franchise. You know, when Paramount sold the rights and stuff, they made a little reference where Jason's mask is pulled underground by Freddy's finger knives, and you know, I think it's awesome, very awesome. So, all right, guys, this is my favorite, and you know, when I review the rest of these films, and I'm gonna redo my review for Part 2 because it sucked. Because I mean, I haven't done reviews in a while, so it might take time because I'm busy. And I don't know if I might return to YouTube, so we'll see. If not, then I'm deeply sorry. And all that. So, you know, but I'll still make videos when I can. So, all right, everyone. That is it for my ranking of all 12 Friday the 13th movies. I hope y'all enjoyed this list. If you did, comment, like, share, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel for more content. If y'all enjoyed this video, maybe I'll do more ranking lists like these in the future. So, you know, I might do like the Halloween franchise, Texas Chainsaw, stuff like that. So, alright guys, love y'all. Adios.